Imagine for a second your future. Think ahead when you're 80 years old, laying on your deathbed, looking back on your life. Are there any regrets that you'll have? Will you feel like you've wasted some of your time? Will you feel like you wish you were doing things differently? Maybe you wish you were taking risks. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Chad. I am a digital nomad in remote tech sales, and I'm more than halfway through my 20s, and honestly, I wasted a chunk of them just partying. I graduated college at 21, and all throughout college, I was just partying and putting off responsibility and not thinking ahead. And even when I graduated, I was still doing that, and I wasn't really, it caught up to me eventually. I had to pay the consequences for doing no thinking ahead and just kind of living it up while I was young, per se. Now, I'm 25 now, and I want to share some of the tips that have helped me kick it into gear and start setting up my life and getting ahead in my 20s. Because I honestly wasted a lot of my early teens and a few years into my early 20s. So if you're someone who's maybe stuck in a routine of doing the same things and kind of has a greater calling to make improvements to their life and wants to start putting in the building blocks now, then this video is going to share some of the ways that mentally I was able to improve. And it wasn't until I had some wake-up calls, some mindset shifts, which 4 of them I'm going to share my story with each of them, how they came about, and how it can kind of maybe shift your mind a little bit after, at the end of watching this video. At least one of the shifts might just do a little bit nudge you in a different direction than what you're currently thinking. That might help you drive more urgency to improve, or help you get clarity on what next step to take to improve. So the first mindset shift is understanding the brevity of life. This happened to me one day when I was reading a book called Unscripted by MJ DeMarco. He's one of my favorite authors, but one of the tips that he has in there is to think ahead, like I said at the beginning of this video. Think about what kind of life you want to live when you're lying on your deathbed, because life is short. And I think that when we're young, and me coming out of college, just you feel like you have your whole life ahead of you, which you do, but you feel like time is not gonna go as fast as it does. And as I'm getting older, as I'm like turning 25, I'm just seeing like time is flying, like the years are flying now. Time is moving really quickly, and I'm kind of just trying to grab at it. So that mindset shift of actually putting myself in that place of my future self on my deathbed, thinking back and asking myself questions like, do I wish I was taking more risks? Do I wish I was spending my time differently? Will I be proud of going out and socializing and partying a lot? Or would I more be proud of locking in and making sacrifices, staying in on the weekends and working on something that's really going to impact the world and really just help me feel like my life is really beneficial and meaningful and not kind of just floating away or wasting away? And that was one of the biggest things that it honestly scared like the shit out of me. So that's one of the biggest ones, and that happened to me when I was in my room working my data entry job, reading about entrepreneurship on the side, and just trying to figure out a way how to escape like the 9-to-5 grind and being stuck in one location. So that's a really interesting mindset shift. The second shift, and this is a really interesting one, is easy life now, hard life later. I'll explain what I mean. So I used to have this assumption in college that living it up while you're young and making sure you're having the most fun when you're young, and because adult life sucks and adult life is boring and you'll have too much responsibility, you won't be able to have the fun that you can have now. And I think this is a dangerous mindset, because I was following that script. I was following that, and I was living it up in college, and I was partying to the max, and I was going out every weekend without fail. Like literally, I was doing my best to avoid regretting not living it up. And honestly, it hurt me because I didn't think ahead. I didn't worry about responsibilities because I was trying to maximize my fun, and I figured that I would just figure it out one day. Life sucks after college anyway, so let me just worry about it then. And I just realized like there's people doing cool things. There's people doing cool shit outside of college. I don't need to be stuck in some random like office job and just slave away my life for the rest of my life until retirement. I don't need to. If there's other people doing cool things in life, creative things, then I can too. And this completely just shattered the paradigm that I had about living it up while young. And it switched me into gear to not living the easy life, not living the fun life now, while still having fun and going out and traveling and doing fun things still. I wasn't doing it more so as much. I was making sacrifices on the weekend, and I still do. And I'm still in the mindset of putting the hard work in now so that I can have an easy life later. And that's the mindset flip. And I think people get it wrong. And maybe it's just my opinion, but I really just feel like you can have a good life. Adult life doesn't have to suck. There's cool things you can do. You can have remote freedom by working in remote jobs out there, like in sales, building good skills so that you can start building your business. If you want to build a business one day, if you want to do something creative, make music for a living, build a clothing brand. These are all things that I want to do, by the way. And am building right now currently. So yeah, life can be fun. It can be fun, and you can have cool jobs. You can have cool things to support your income. You can build a good life. And I just think that like the mindset of living it up while you're young is dangerous, and it's making people just party and not worry about things. Like that's just my experience. I don't know if you feel that way, but that's the biggest mindset shift. So easy life now means a hard life later. And if you do the hard work now, it'll mean you have an easy life later where you can work on what you want, what you're passionate about. And you've done the hard work and the planning and the thinking and building your income and building your skills as a young person, like sales skills, marketing, social media, whatever you want to get into, whoever you are inspired by, whatever you want to do, start building it now and putting in the hard work now, because you're just putting it off. There's no shortcut, you know? That's just what I learned. Let's get on to the third. So trajectory. So if you have felt like, I remember one day, it was a Sunday, and I had just gone through a 3-day bender, or 3 days of just partying and going to parties, like even during the day and into the night. And it was that Sunday after that, and I was just laying on my couch in my college apartment watching Netflix, and I obviously was exhausted, but things just came as a crash. Everything came in and started caving in on me. I started to feel massive anxiety, like my heart started pounding, and my brain just started being like, what am I doing? If I keep doing the things that I'm doing, if I keep up this routine, this habit, this cycle of going out and just going out too much and overexerting myself and not getting enough sleep and not spending any time building anything, like my trajectory is not in a direction where I want my life to go. And I don't know if it was a message from the universe or something, but something caved in on me and it just switched my mind. It was like, what? I value my health. I value my longevity of life. I need to, I can't keep doing this. And then that was a switch for me. I was about 20 or 21. I think I was 20. And I started to go to the gym like every single day. My roommates were like, what's different about you, you know? And I started to not want to go out. Or if I did, I would come home early and they'd be like, where you at? Where you at? And it just kept like, I just didn't want to do that anymore. I felt stuck. In that environment, in that college environment. And it still was kind of too late, because I had already, like, the first 3 years of college, I was living it up completely. Before that, I had that like mindset switch. So I still struggled after, but I started to it planted the seed for doing things differently and improving myself. And so the mindset shift was trajectory, was that whatever actions I'm doing right now are altering my trajectory. I'm on a trajectory. I'm on a path somewhere, right? So in some way I'm succeeding in a specific end situation, an end goal. For example, if I'm going out every weekend and that's like the cycle that I'm in, my trajectory is not going to be the same as if I was spending time working on myself and working on a business on the weekend and actually building something. My future would look so different if I was doing a habit consistently like that, and I was making sacrifices and had a different like routine. I would be in a much different spot. You know, forget better or worse, whatever. It's just my life would look different if I stopped doing that. So that's just one of the lessons. Trajectory is huge, and you can alter it massively. So don't worry if you're currently on a trajectory somewhere that you don't want, because the smallest alteration of your habits and routine will down the like years down will change your future dramatically. It's like an asteroid coming into Earth. Think of trajectory like an asteroid's coming toward Earth. If one little gust of wind in the space sphere alters it just a tiny bit, it'll go and skip the Earth, because tiny bit over the course of a long period, it's going to go way past the Earth. So that's what your trajectory is like. So even if you make the smallest little change in your habit, your trajectory in years down can change dramatically. And that should inspire you. And that inspires me to even the smallest little habits, like meditating in the morning, eating the right food in one day. It really does make a dramatic change. I'm all about having a good trajectory as early as you can in life. And I wasted time, yes, but these are some mindset shifts to help me kick it into gear. And honestly, things are pretty good at 25. I work fully remotely. I get to travel a ton. I'm currently in Miami, just in a hotel filming this video. I had to find like private space to do it. Things are good. And yeah, I'm in the season of like trying to figure out what I'm passionate about, because I have a supportive income source that helps me be free and travel, like remote sales, which by the way, I have this full guide for how to break into remote sales. I worked so hard to get into this industry myself and have learned so many intricacies about it. And I think people go wrong in so many ways entering this industry. So the first link in the description, I'm gonna put that full free guide that you can click that and download it. So if that's something that's interesting to you, go ahead and click that. I have another video here that I'll put on me going in depth on what remote sales is and how to get into it, just because I think it's one of the best career paths for young, ambitious, entrepreneur-minded people who want to go against the grain, build skills, and build a life of independence for themselves. And sales is the best foundation for that, because you learn so many things and you get remote freedom, which honestly, my life has dramatically changed since doing that. And it's one of the biggest things that have helped me set up my life in my 20s. But yeah, hope this video was helpful for you if you're someone who's wants to break out of the cycle of boring routine or routine they're not really happy with. And yeah, I just hope this helps you like it helped me. And yeah, hope you stick around. I hope to see you in another video, my friend. Peace out. Chad's out. Peace.